Hello wonderful humans, welcome to my channel. My name is Eva from the Garden of Eve, and this is the first episode of Let's Be Free, Create With Me. Recently I started taking up drawing again. As a child I really enjoyed drawing, and I started painting, I guess about a month ago, something like that, and I focused mainly on abstract painting. I also really enjoy making fine liner drawings as well, more abstract stuff, because I didn't really felt comfortable to start drawing realistic stuff. Also because I know that I'm quite a perfectionist, but after a while I wanted to try it out again. So here I am, finding my way into realistic drawing, and I wanted to take you along on my journey and hopefully teach you a few things as well. So this is going to be a tutorial where I draw a nose, and I hope it will be easy to follow for you. It's not going to be extremely hard. I myself am not like a professional artist. I didn't go to art school or anything, so it should be doable. And I have filmed it and we'll post it in real speed. So this part is a little speed up just to show you the process, but after I'm done talking we're going to do real speed and I will explain the exact steps that I'm going through so you can follow along. Now I also wanted to ask you to comment down below if you enjoy watching these kinds of video, if you enjoy these tutorials, or if you prefer watching speeded up art videos, or give me some suggestions of what kind of tutorials you want to see or what kind of art videos you want to see. Or simply, if you don't like it, that's fine, just let me know, because I'm trying to learn what people want to see and what value I can give to them. So that's one request that I have. I would also really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel and push the notification bell if you want to be notified for new updates. I make videos on self-development. Sometimes I upload some spoken poetry, and as of now I also want to upload art videos or art tutorials. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to my channel. So yeah, let's begin. So obviously we're going to need a piece of paper. Doesn't really matter what kind of paper. I'm also using a tissue for the shading. Sometimes I use my fingers. I mean, I'm not sure if that is like really artsy allowed, but I'll do it anyway. I have various pencils that I use, but as I said, you can just use one pencil if that's what you got. I have an eraser. I have a smaller eraser and some sort of pencil eraser is this, and it can be really handy for smaller pieces. And this is these are really small erasers in the form of a pencil, and with one side of the eraser is a really hard one, so this erases very effectively, and the other one is a soft eraser, and it erases a little bit less effective, but that is in some cases a good thing, which you will see in this video. So now I'm just trying to figure out what kind of pencil I'm going to use, and I will be starting with an HB pencil. So first we are going to make a circle, which will be the tip of the nose. Make the circle kind of in the middle of the paper, and just, make a little circle with your hand above the paper and then draw the circle on the paper. If it goes wrong, you can just erase it, or if the shape isn't perfect, just make some new lines and then erase it. After drawing the circle, I'm drawing lines upwards with little arches on the top, you know, the arches that move towards the eyebrow. We're not going to draw the eyebrows today, just the nose, but you know, we need the shape of that as well. Then we are going to draw a line in the middle of the circle, you know, the tip of the nose, and the line is going to be a little bit sticking a little bit out of the circle. Then on these tips we are going to draw some straight lines downward, and then we are going to draw an arch from those lines, because we want to create the shape of the nostrils towards the wings of the nose. So this is going to be a wavy shape, as you can see. After this, we can erase the lines that helped us guide the wave. And you can thicken the lines a little bit to make it clear for yourself, and try to make both sides even. Then we are going to make the wings of the nose, and those start from the middle of the waves, you know, the nostrils. And also try to make these wings as even as possible. Doesn't need to be perfect because noses aren't perfect. But you know, try to make it as even as possible. Here, I'm just erasing some lines that I don't need anymore. Sharpening some lines. Now I am going to use that pencil eraser with the soft side. The soft side, as I said, doesn't erase everything immediately. So the point of this process is to erase the harsh line. So you will still see the outline of the nose that we just drew, but we want to make it really soft that it's hardly visible, because we want to shape the nose through the shading that we are going to apply later. And if you really have these harsh lines, these outlines, then the nose is going to appear fake, and we don't want that. We want to make it as realistic as possible. So you can also do this with a normal eraser. Just make sure you can still see the outlines and try to make it as neat as possible. If you use a normal eraser, just don't press too hard. So now it's barely visible, but that's the point. Now we're going to start the process of shading, and I will start with the HB pencil, and I make very small strokes to create the shading effect. Sometimes I use my fingers to make it blend. But I'm not very satisfied with the HB effect. I mean, you can shade with the HB pencil, but sometimes it's just going to be a little bit harder because the lines are a bit harsher if you have a 4B pencil, which I am using now. Then the shading process is going to be a little bit easier because the graphite is just a little bit thicker. How do you explain it? I'm not sure if I explain it well enough, but just trust me on that. And if you want to shade well, I recommend using the tip of the pencil quite flat. It makes it a lot easier. So now I just started shading with the 5B pencil. But the more you go upwards in numbers, 5B, 6B, 7B, 8B, etc., the darker the shade is going to be. And yeah, you have to be a little bit careful when you first start with the shading. Try not to make it too dark, because it can be quite difficult to erase it when you make it too dark right away. So just, take your time. And the point is to make the shade along the lines that we first created the darkest, and then from that onwards make it a little bit lighter with each stroke. So sometimes I just use my fingers to spread out the graphite. It's a habit of mine. Maybe I should have used the tissue more often. It creates a finer look, I think, but sometimes I'm just a little bit lazy. I made a little mistake there, but it happens. Just continue shading along the lines. Really find it funny how initially it looks really weird, but in the end it's coming nice together. Sometimes you make a mistake, but you can easily fix it, especially if you don't apply the shading too harsh right away. So now I'm trying to start creating the effect that the tip of the nose reflects the light, and I want to create the effect that the light is coming from the left. So as you will see later on in the video as well, the right side of the nose is going to be a little bit darker. And of course you can choose to have lighting exactly from above, but in real life that doesn't really happen that often, and I also find that it doesn't really create nice effects in the drawing as well. So usually I just choose to have the lighting appear more from one side. And the more the shading progresses, the darker you can make the shading as well. If you darken the shading, it will give the drawing also more depth. But personally, I don't like drawings that are too dark. But of course it also depends on, you know, the skin color that you would want to represent. Things like that. So keep that in mind. So I'm already trying to apply a little bit of the lighting effect. The reflection on the tip of the nose. Mostly to, you know, guide my own process. And on the arch of the nose there is also going to be a light reflection. And that reflection is going to appear more on the left side than on the right side. So now we are going to darken the nostrils. I'm using a 4B pencil for this. And the point is to start upwards and go downwards. And the closer to the arch of the nostril, the darker it will be. So work upwards to downwards. And just each time make it a little less dark. but the difference is not going to be extremely significant because we still want the nostrils as a whole to be pretty dark. And I'm also trying to give more shape to the tip of the nose because I felt like it was quite round and I wanted to be a little bit more pointy. But you can play around with that, with the shapes of the nose. And under the nostrils there's also going to be some shading as well, because obviously there's skin there. Otherwise it would look really weird, trust me. So I'm going to give the wings a little more depth. And now I will also be shading on the side of the nose. And as I said, there's going to be more shading on the right side than on the left. And the arches are also going to be a little bit darker than the rest of the nose. Trying to be decent here, use the tissue. I keep forgetting, but it's not a big problem. Just keep on going. The darker you're going to make certain areas, the more depth you will give it. Now I'm also going to shade the left side of the nose, a little less dark than the right side. Although I'll mess up at first a little bit. As I said, you can always fix things. I'm starting to make more of the lighting effect on the top of the nose, on the arch of the nose. So yeah, my battery just gave up on me, and I missed a little bit of the process, but nothing too drastic. I had to wait a little bit before I could film again, but I'm back. Sometimes it can also be a good thing, you know, to wait a little bit before you proceed, so you can see new elements in the drawing. Trying to stay positive here. So the arch on the right side was a little bit too dramatic, but we're going to fix it later. It's already coming together quite well. I hope yours is coming together as well. Creating some more shade under the nose. And I'm darkening the nostrils a little bit more to create the extra depth. Just keep going, my friends. You can do this. Oops. Create some shading above the tip of the nose to make it appear round. And the tissue will also make it appear a little bit lighter again, because it will take up some of the graphite. Now I am going to try and apply some of that lighting that I was talking about. And that's why this pencil eraser is really helpful. You want to make sure that it looks quite natural as well. So don't overdo it. And on that little wavy part of the nose, you know, the tip of the nose and the upper part of the nostril, I'm also going to apply some lighting just above the darkest shade that we drew, because that will also be reflecting light. And on the right side I have applied more of the lighting effect than on the left side. And I did a similar thing on the left nostril as well, just applied a little dot of lighting. I'm still not completely satisfied. Making the right side still a little bit darker. Using a 4B pencil again, I think. Yes. And I am making the nostrils still a little bit darker. Almost done. I want to make the arches quite dark, but it also shouldn't appear too deep, so that's why I keep using the tissue to make it appear a little bit softer, but still give it the depth. And I also try to assume the shape on the side of the nose, on the right side. You know, that shape that goes towards the cheeks. Keep aggressively using my tissue here. Applying a little bit of shading over the lighter areas, because if it's too white, it doesn't appear natural. Perfecting that lighting again. If you make little dots, it will appear more natural than if you really make straight lines. Also applying some lighting on the nostrils as well. Still not satisfied with the left side. That's the problem with using your fingers to smudge. But here you have the end result of our sketch of drawing a nose. I hope you are satisfied with your result, and I hope you found some use in this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!